So I am live on the community on YouTube. We also on TikTok as well. If you're on TikTok and you want to see if it's not as clear on TikTok, depending on the device you're on, you can always go to YouTube, ATA_trader. Hope everybody had a great weekend. So what we're going to do today is, just classic Monday, right? We're going to take a look at some news, make sure we're ready for what's coming next. I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about our day Friday. I mean, we just had just an absolute killer day. I mean, you can see from here, this was our start of the day. My live trader ended up taking a nice little short. It actually took a call right after that. I thought I posted it. I didn't. You can see here, I mean, just, killed it for his name's Sean. Had a nice little drop. I mean, this is like what, TP 1, 2, 3. So a great win. CK nailed the triple top, and then you can see everybody's winning. Had a great weekend. So it was just an awesome Friday, which is awesome because we don't typically push hard on Friday. But that's the advantage of having the live trader, is that I don't mind trading Fridays because I'm spreading my range out, right? So if it hits it, I mean, they're almost, I mean, the odds of those trades once those marks are hit, coming out profitable are just so high. So let's just do a quick glance of the news. I mean, obviously not much going on today from this standpoint. Let's see, not too crazy tomorrow. Obviously we have Wednesday CPI, so I would expect a lot of fake moves until the CPI. You're going to probably see some pumps, some dumps, and so on. So we'll keep that in mind, right? Because they're going to want to clear some liquidity before we get into that data. So taking a look at it, I mean, you can see right here on the even on the data, right? It looks like we're going from 3.2 to 3.66 according to the prediction. Doesn't mean that it needs to be that, right? So if it ends up, under 3.2, I mean, we're going to shoot north. If it ends up 3.6 or higher, we're going to go south. So keep an eye on this number too, because the anticipation is bearish. And so if the overall markets are going to want to price that in, right, over the next few days, we might see that bearish sentiment kick in. We have our normal retail sales, jobless claims, PPI. So Thursday is going to be a pretty good day because we've got a lot of early morning. So this is important to watch because, as you know, the markets don't open until 9:30. So you have 8:30. You have a ton of news. I mean, this is 3 big news events all in one, right at 8:30. So we know that we're going to have the CPI on Wednesday, right, at the morning, right before the market opens. So Tuesday night, you don't really want to let a trade carry over and take your profit unless you want to play the gamble, right, and then make sure you set your stop losses and such. But it looks like Wednesdays and Thursdays is going to be the big days. Let's see what we got going on Friday. They're all 2, so nothing crazy. So we're just going to play the setup for Wednesday and Thursday. And again, you just want to keep that in mind. I mean, and it looks like most of the news is early morning. So we want to just be prepared for that and not let things run over too much. So let's talk about the SPY real quick. We'll talk briefly about kind of how we traded the day. I'm going to pull up the harmonic. I'll go to the 2-minute. Let's go to regular hours so we can actually see the day. All right, and so Friday, the day started about here. So you can see that in the room we were talking about, we were in the long. We were also in this golden cross. We had this 21 SMA going up. We were above the candle. So everything here showed bullish, right? I did not play this call. As you saw in my live trader, I didn't take any trades outside of my live trader. And so I didn't play the call. It did hit my range, though, perfectly, and it took the short. The short call came in, which is awesome, and that played through, right? And then you can see what the beauty is right here. Friday, right before close, it actually threw a long. And you can see, I mean, that has played out perfectly. So, again, I did not take that one as well, but I think some others in the room did. So, I mean, you can see our indicators, guys. I mean, look, right here. I mean, you got the long, short, long. I mean, that's, this is scalping dream right here, right? There's a lot of things that tell you this long was going to be a good play. I mean, one is the 4 bullish divergences in a row. Not only the 4 little mini divergences. If you look at the overall, divergence itself, right? You can see here, right? You do have lower lows here, but right there on this one right here, you can start to see that shift, right? And so you got that lower low there, but you got the higher low, and it continues to make higher lows, right? You got a little mini rounded bottom going on here, just a lot showing that it was going to gain some steam. So not only that, you can see kind of the oscillation bands are contracting. You have the higher lows from here, higher low from there, and then you get that pump. So where do we go from here? Let's talk about our day today. I don't like Monday pumps. The euro market tends to push us north, and then the U.S. loves to come in and reverse it. So I'm going to be very careful taking calls. I'm not saying I won't take them. I'm just saying I'll be very patient with taking a call. And we're going to set that same thing on the live trader, right? So if we zoom out, let's look at the 1 hour. The primary thing, as y'all know, I look at the 200 EMA, and you can see we are above it. We did get that death cross, right, which pushed us down, but we have reclaimed that. And then not only have we reclaimed that, right, you can see we kind of, we're starting that upward trend here, right? And then at the same time, we had talked about this, I think it was Friday, right? You had a potential shoulder, head, shoulder. If you think about this is what we talk about on the from the technical standpoint. If you were to take your neckline, right, somewhere around there, or if you were to even pull it down here like this, that hits this side here, and it hits this pocket here, right? It misses that wick. But you can see you'd have your shoulder, head, shoulder, a retest, and then up we go. So that's all that's playing out on that. And as we always talk about, when you have that type of pattern play out, you're typically going to reclaim this side, which is really all we've done. So I would, for me, I'm going to mark a level probably right about here, which is 448.36. So that's going to be my first level of really strong resistance that I'm going to make sure I have here. So, and like I said, again, because that's going to be the rejection off of this reclaim, plus you have prior support, it might turn as resistance. So be very careful. So this is going to be our put area. Will be somewhere below that that we're going to take. Now our call continuation, I'm okay with taking it slightly above it, somewhere around 449. I'd probably give it a little bit of room just to make sure. And so we can kind of flip over to our live trader. So I know this is new, or for people that don't know what we do, but we do automated trading. So I have been flipping back to that while I'm doing this. And then if you want to see the TA for some of the other stocks, just you got to stick around. But this is our automated trading setup portion. So I'm deleting those old alerts. And so we're going to set up our first, let's just play the puts first. So our first put, I'm going to set up right below this line, probably 448. See, we're at 447.87 already. So I don't want to go too close to it, but let's say like 448.20, I guess. And I may adjust this, guys, so come into the room, because if we continue to push up and we blow past this, right, we may need to adjust it, right? But either way, I'm okay with that level, because even if we blow past it, if we come down and we lose that, it's going to collapse big time. So so let's go over here into our here was my call, guys, that I was telling you. So we had our put and our call. That's what my live trader did on Friday, and I didn't have to watch it at all, so it was great. So all we have to do anytime you're updating this, remember, is just update your date here, and then you're going to update your open price, 448. Let's do 20. Oops, 448.20. And so we're gonna do same 10 put. I'm okay with. I might bump this up a little bit. It's a Monday, guys, so we got some time. So I'm gonna make that 4 days. We'll do 15 put. I'm gonna allow it to trade a little bit longer, just because it is Monday, so I don't mind letting it trade till about 3. I'm not going to stop them at the end of the day, so I'm going to adjust that. We are going to only do one trade because each time an alert fires, I like to assess it myself. So that's what I'm going to run for that one. So let's go ahead and set that alert. Now let's take a look at our continuation put. I'm okay with taking a continuation put if we break back below this 200. So I would probably say about 445.80 is where I would take that continuation put down. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna put this, so just so you don't forget the thing. You can the nut price. You can put in the price first if you want. I like to do that just so I don't forget the price that I was doing and mess it up. So remember we changed these till 3, 4, 15. Put. It's always good just to double check all this, guys. We're still doing one only. Strike price I'm still fine with 0.5. It's fine. I haven't changed that in a little while. All right. Now our call continuation, we know we said about 449, so I'm just going to go with 449. I don't want to go too aggressive on this, the call one, but yeah, so we're going to say 449. I'm just going to reset my date. I'm resetting my contracts days. This is my call. I'm going to do 15 contracts. Again, if people are wondering, I'm only setting up SPY because we don't have a lot of time, but you can do all of these other ones in there. We do have that option. So it's only going to trade till 3 p.m. This is the trading zone that I'm allowing it to trade in. 911, 449. And that's it. I'm good. All right. So yeah, make sure I had the right one there. Guys, I do certain indicators for certain things. So like this is my drop and then takes a call. This is my continuation. This is my pump and then drop, it takes a put, and this is my continuation. This is how I do it for me. It's easy for me to remember which ones are which. So now let's say, where do we want to take a call if we were to get a bounce? So it's likely that even if we get a rejection off of this, that we're going to bounce somewhere around 446.15 off of this 1 hour 200 EMA. So I'm going to put a call bounce off of 446. I'll say 446.40 should be good. You know what? Let's do 446.50 because I don't mind being a little more aggressive on Mondays. You can see how quickly I'm able to set this up, guys. It's not that hard. 446.50 we're going to say. All right, and I'll explain in a second what all this means if you don't know. So you guys get this indicator directly on your chart, so you can do the exact same thing I'm doing. So what does this mean? This means if our ATA, if today, here's our game plan, the market pumps up, hits this rejection point, comes back down, it's going to take that put because that's the mark that we did. If it takes this put, but then it runs against us, we have a continuation to protect it. So we'll open a call here. So we're going to earn on that call even if our put goes against us. Then if we have a rejection down here, let's say market open, and it gets a bounce off the 200 EMA on the 1 hour, then we're going to take a call. But if it goes against us, if we do enter that call and it goes against us, right, it's going to take that continuation put. Now the beauty of our stuff is that we don't take, it will not take this put if it just blows past it, but it will take that call still, right? And so it could work in reverse. This is why I set it up like that, because if you take, let's say it pumps and you get into that call and then it rejects and it doesn't take profit on that call, at least you're going to profit on this put, right? Then it might take this call and you profit on that call. And then so it kind of offsets some of what you might be losing in the other one. So yeah, so that should be it, guys. We're all set up. So we got our 4 indicator alerts. Just always check, make sure that they're there. That's also the range that I'll be playing on SPY. So I hope that helps you guys out. So I do see the request in there for QQQ. I will take a look at that. Just you'll have to give me a moment. So I'm gonna take a look at some of these tech stocks here first. So Apple on the 1 hour, we did get the long call, we did get the short call. We have not gotten the long call but we are green still in our divergence hunter, so I would not feel safe taking a put again because we already played that out, right? On Apple until this actually starts to curl in that 1 hour. Let's take a look at the EMAs. Yeah, so you can see we're probably going to get a little resistance on Apple on 182, and we'll get some support around 179. Whichever one it breaks out of, right, that's going to be the directional movement. So I would not be clear to take puts until I get about 178. 50, and I would not take calls until I get to about 182, maybe 183. Preferably, I like the indicator to give me a little something. Microsoft, I hate when it does that. All right, so let's add these indicators back on. I'm gonna do just a few at a time. I know some people get overwhelmed because they say it's a lot of indicators, but when I get them all on there, I know what they do, so it's easy for me to read. But so the zone tracker, you can see we are breaking through that resistance on the 1 hour. We are holding support each time above the 200 EMA. Let's check the Bollingers. The Bollingers are green on Microsoft still, so that's showing definitely a good push. But keep an eye on the divergence hunter because we do have lower highs here, whereas we have a higher high right now. There could be a pullback and then a third push to create that third peak right before it collapses down. But you'd want to look at the prior levels of resistance, right? So you can see we're sitting at about right here, which is heavy resistance in here. Next level would be around 342 within here that I would look at for that. So harmonic tracker currently has us in a long. We did get the short call, we did get the long call. So I would say before I take a put, I would simply I would honestly hold off for this to call that short call. So on Microsoft, but there's definitely some resistance up in here in the order block. So if it loses that area, then it's gonna fall back. But looks a little more bullish than Apple. Let's check the zone tracker on Google. So Google's above the 200 on the 1 hour. You can see nice support held off of there. That was a pretty gimme scalp. You can see the divergence was there, but that kind of played out. I don't see anything else clear on that other than we just have some early resistance calls. We are above the 21 SMA. I would just be careful. I would not take a put entry unless we break this 21 because then you could ride a scalp to the 200. We are near some crazy resistance up here too. So this 21 is likely to squeeze it. So I would wait for either a push north and then a pullback retest of this as support before I would take that call, or I'd wait for a breakdown of that 21 SMA before I take the put. So currently we are in a long with no short call on Google. Trying to flip on through these guys because I know there's a few that want them. Amazon. So you can see our zone tracker's got heavy support down in this range, heavy resistance in this range. So likely I would not take a put on this one unless I get up into this range like 142, 141, 80, somewhere on there. If you wanted to take a call on it, just do it on a retest, guys. 136, something like that. Like wait for it to push up, pull back, retest off this 200 EMA. So we had our long, our short, our long, our short, right? These are nice little scalps still. And we're currently just called a long, actually. So we might see a little bit more push north on Amazon, which doesn't surprise me because, like I said, I can see us getting up into this resistance level in here. The Bollingers, green, divergence, little bit of bearish divergence. See how this is lower highs and this has equal, right? That's what they call hidden divergence on that. So not as powerful, but it is still there. Let's check out Tesla. So Tony, QQQ is not my normal one, but I will look at that. Just give me one moment. I don't trade the QQQ quite often. All right, so let's take a look at Tesla. So Tesla, so zone tracker. So we're in heavy resistance all through here, pretty much from here to 268. if I zoom out, this is kind of what we were following, right, on Tesla. So we did have that breakout here. Right now, I honestly, right now, guys, it's fighting this heavy resistance here is what I see. So I would, if I'm playing Tesla today, which I may, I'm gonna put a line right there. Let's make this one white. It's fine. And what I'm gonna do is, if I continue to get bearish sentiment off of here, because we are overbought a little bit, I'm gonna play that put, right? However, if I break above 265 and I stay above 265, I want to see a little bit of a push north, not just barely a break, right? I want to see a push north to maybe 270, 268, and then a retrace, and then I'll take that call, right? I want to show that it actually has support. Other than that, we're in a sense right now, like you can see, we're definitely in that overbought territory. So, and you can see, there's some small divergence. You have a higher high here, and even from back here, right, you have a lower high. So that's kind of the range that I'm gonna play Tesla today. I'm surprised I usually get an NVIDIA request right away. So everybody loves NVIDIA. So this was the lines that I drew here. My concerns with NVIDIA was that it was just breaking down, right? We flipped below this. We had our death cross here. You can see the support is holding up pretty well. We have heavy support, here, 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 and here. And so Friday, I think it was like right here, we were talking about it. I had said that we had heavy support on all these areas here. We're likely to push north. I thought we'd push a little bit further than that. But, it's not bad. I mean, you think about it, we pushed from 453, now it's sitting at 462. I think we ended the day, Friday wasn't much. It was like 456, right? So it pumped up a little bit. So we have, this is just pushing up with the rest of the market now. You can take, if I'm going to play an NVIDIA, and I'll spend a little more time because I know a lot of people are all about the FOMO of NVIDIA. You can take just, a little line like this because you have your wick, you have all this that was rejected off of here, and that's right where we're at. So if we get a break above this on market open and it does this and then come back and retest this, right, then I would be okay to take that call. Now, my only caution to you is that we are below the 200. The 21 is right here. So we could just end up in a squeeze, right? So the safe bet, I mean, it's kind of in that gray area. If you want to scalp it, just be patient, right? But the safe bet would be to not take calls unless you get above 469, right? Let it get some support. If you wanted to take a put, if it rejects off that 469, you would take that put. You can see here also, this pump doesn't surprise me because you did have not only the support, but you have that bullish divergence. So everything just kind of lined up with that one. So let's take a look at here. So the harmonics did get that long, and then it did get this short here. And so we have not gotten along quite yet. So I don't know that maybe it's got enough strength in there. So we do have some gaps to fill though, per the gap fill sniper. So definitely could have a little more push north. But this trend line is going to be the breakout trend line, guys. If it breaks on this, you could ride that up. Probably we might go to 474 or so, but if it rejects or I can't get past that 200 EMA, it's just gonna collapse right back down. I'm gonna skip Meta and Netflix. I don't have QQQ on my chart, so I will throw it on here for you. I typically only do this one when people request. So let's just take a look at it. So what I'm going to do when I first look at anything, I always want to box in my upper and I want to box in my lower, right? That's typically how I do it. So if I'm boxing in a lower trend line, I'm going to take something like this and I'm going to mark that. If I'm boxing in my upper, I'm going to take the obvious one here and I'm going to box it like that, right? And so this is going to be how I'm going to box in the QQQ at first. And then I'll come down to my, we'll stay on the 1 hour. So we know price actions right here. Let's look at where our support and where our resistance is. I'm going to mark this as my first level, even though we're above it. So I might turn this one as potential support. in there because of these areas here, right? What was once resistance might turn support. It was heavy support within here before it collapsed, right, and then broke down. So it's definitely a viable line. And then as far as my resistance goes, you're gonna probably get a lot of resistance right here, and I'll tell you why I would draw it right there. Even though it's not the probably the ideal spot, but you do have some resistance here. You got a resistance here, resistance there, resistance there. You have resistance here. It broke it, but it collapsed. You have resistance here, right? So and it just so happens that where our candles are, by the time it gets up to here, if we pump today, it's going to hit resistance. So whenever you have this kind of double resistance with the trend line and the resistance line itself, tends to be very strong. So I would, if you wanted to take a put, I would not take a call on this right away because it's already kind of ran, right? So there's no guarantees this is going to keep up. I would be looking for put if I'm trading this here. Anywhere a rejection anywhere off of 379, I'm taking a put. If we do pull back on market open, any kind of support around 372, I'm taking a call. So that's how I'm playing it, even without the indicators. You can see when I overlay the indicators, pretty close. It actually has resistance up a little higher at 382. But remember, that's just the zone tracking on that. We're not quite overbought, so it could have some room to go up. The 200 EMA on the 1 hour, we are above it. So we definitely have some room to go up. We did get this. This actually did pretty good, actually. Look at, we got the long call, the short call, the long call, and the short call. But we have not got the long call. But we are getting harmonic presence with the 1-2 right here, or double bottom even. However you look at it. So we did not quite get that long call in the 1 hour. Bollinger's are still orange. So orange for us on our code, it means that it's just neutral. It's not really bullish, not really bearish. It kind of looks, what it does is, you can see we have here is bullish, this is bearish, and then this tells you that it might be switching, right? So it could be switching back to bullish. Doesn't always have to switch back, like you can see here where it goes red, orange, red, right? It just means that it's uncertain, is all that means. So let's look at the gap fill. Gap fill's pretty even. We are currently bullish on this, but we are at the upper band here, so it would not surprise me. Our POC 376, so it wouldn't surprise me to get a yeah, so you can see the gap here, right, which is why we're getting that big push, but there's tons of price action in here, so 376 or so is going to be a tough one to break. Hope that helps you guys out. Let's take a quick look at Dixie. Yeah, so Dixie's rejecting a little bit, like we talked about. You can see here, tons of resistance in this area. This is what I was worried about, right? And so you can see that's breaking down. I would highly follow the 200 EMA. It's kind of funny. I was actually playing this one day. I was watching the chart on the Dixie, and I was trading the SPY. And I wasn't even looking at the SPY chart, right? And it was kind of funny because if you see the Dixie come down and hit this and start to gain support, I would take the put on the SPY, and it would work, and I wouldn't even look at the price. It's not always. I don't recommend doing that, but I was just kind of having fun one day. So the Dixie to me looks very, remember like Tesla when we were talking about it, right, where it started to kind of round a little bit. So what I want to look for on the Dixie is, could give us a little bit more of a bullish push, right, is I want to look at the fact that it's doing this, right? So typically when that happens and we find support right here, a lot of times either this shoulder is going to be weak, like it is here, and you're going to see a rejection crash all the way back down to 104.11, which will push the markets north, obviously. Or you might see a potential retest here, because a lot of times what the market likes to do is it likes to work its way back to what the other side was, right here, right, to this shoulder. So you have this one, the peak, this one's a little higher, right, than here, but we never got that second one. So it could either work its way to there or to there. And then that kind of basically creates this, and then it kind of creates that rounded top over time, right? So that's what I'm going to watch for. If it begins to lose that steam and it drops down here, we're going to see a little push in the market for sure. But you also have things like the 200 EMA that it's got to break on the 1 hour. So Bitcoin is just it's just doing kind of what we talked about, guys. I mean, I don't really know what else to say on Bitcoin. It's just bleeding, you know, and you can see, you know, we talked about this last week. We had our fall, we kind of consolidated, and we had a reclaim of this side. This is where tons of people got trapped because of the news. There was tons of news that came out with Bitcoin, and then all the lawsuits that won in the crypto space, and so that caused the FOMO, and then all the hedge funds and market makers said, we ain't ready, and then just dumped it on everybody. And so everybody that was caught in there long there, you might be okay, but you might be stuck there for a little bit. You can see this level here, 25.5, I would say 25.381 is just going to be key, because if that breaks, I mean, it's coming down, right? At least for a retest here, 24.8, which is what I called some time ago. So I'll mark this out. I erased all my lines on Bitcoin, I think Friday. Actually, on all my charts. So we can box in a few things here, guys. You can take some simple trend lines and just, you know, draw potential resistant points. You can draw a few, you know, just something to help you more localized like that, right? So this is going to be our breakout point. If we get above, I mean, we'd have to get back up to, you know, somewhere between 26.2 and 26.6, depending on when we hit it to break up. But if we break that 24.8, I'll show you guys this, and this is what I'll kind of end you with here. If you go to the daily, this is what I had marked out for some time. Just take this peak here, and you can kind of pull it up like that, right? And that gives you all this support here plus this wick. So it's not extremely strong, but this is it's going to be viable, right? So if we do happen to break that level, the lowest of lows, anybody in the long that that's freaking out because you're dropping, that I see, depending when you hit it, would be somewhere in that 20 to 21K range. I don't think that we're going there anytime soon. It would be like, unless news came out, right, it would be a break of the 24.8, then we'd come down, we'd likely find some support, you know, around 23, probably before that, 24.2, and then I would say 23K or something like that would be the next one, and then it would kind of work its way over here. Anything in this zone, I would not be taking shorts, because it's going to bounce. So I'd be very, very leery of that. But that is our day, guys. I would, like I said, we have our live trader. If you guys are just joining on TikTok and you missed that, we do automation setup. That's what we just did earlier. I'll let you guys know how the range plays tomorrow once we get in that. If you guys want to come trade with us, you guys can. Check us out, botjock.com. All you got to do is go here, botjock.com. This is what it looks like. All you need is an email to create an account just to check us out. So I'm going to go ahead and end the community here. I will see you guys